Hi, Dr. Bridget here with another prescription for success, and today we're going to be talking about eye accessing cues or eye patterns. So eye accessing cues is really about how people access information within their neurology in terms of their visual, their auditory, their kinesthetic or their feelings, and also their auditory digital, which is about sorting, filing processes and things like that. And the reason I'm doing this is because if you remember last week on my my fascinating blog, someone asked me about them and I explained them, and I suddenly thought to myself it would be a really good thing to just start to talk to you about eye patterns. I can't cover the whole lot about eye patterns, but if you come on a course then you'll be amazed at how much you can learn. But this is the basics, and you can start to become fascinated again. So it's useful because if we can informally elicit what people are doing in their thinking, then that just gives us so much more information about people, which is helpful in sales, is helpful in understanding people, is helpful with clients. So what are eye accessing patterns? Well, they're how you move your eyes in relation to in relation to your environment, if you like. So there are 6 eye accessing cues, and I'm just going to talk about someone who is what we call normally organised. So most people in the UK are normally organised, and if in terms of their eye accessing cues, and if you're not normally organised, then it's just the reverse of this. So if people move their eyes up, so let's just put some pupils in. If they move their eyes up and to the right, then they're recalling visual information. So if you just look at me, if I recall visual information, I will look up there. So you can see my eyes are doing this, so visual recall. If they're recalling sounds, auditory recall, things that happened in the past, they'll move their eyes over there. So that's where I'm moving my eyes. If they're thinking about the question that you've just asked, or they're doing some sort of form of comparison or list, then they'll go down into what we call the auditory digital. So it would be down here for me. Okay. If someone is creating a visual image in their mind, they will look up and over to the left. So as you're looking at the person, so that would be where they, sometimes people think that they're lying, but actually it's just really about, what am I going to say? How could I make something different? If I visualised a beach, how would it look if the sand was red, for instance? So you'd go there and think, oh, I don't know, how would it be? I don't know. The visual, the auditory create is then off to the side. So that's if you're thinking, well, how would a song that you normally know, how would it be if it was double the speed? Something like that. And then we've got kinesthetic, which is feelings. So how are people feeling? So if you watch people's eyes, then you can just sort of work out whether they're recalling something visual, listening to something, recalling something they listened to, or doing sort of processy sort of thing, or creating something that they've seen, creating a sound in their head, or doing a feeling. And I think, just from an introduction sort of point of view, just have a look at people on the telly, have a look at people that you see around you, have a look at the eye patterns of people that you're talking to, and just start to have a think. And if you want to have any more information about that, or you'd like to come on a course to get really slick at doing this so that you can use it in sales, use it to understand other people and just become totally fascinated again, then let me know. So that's all I've got for today. So I shall see you next week. Bye.